Right, so I'm back again. This is the start of another video. So in this episode we're going to be doing sound insulation, insulation, and then the thermal barrier as well. So this is pretty much getting the van warm enough to stay in. So at the moment it's pretty much just a metal shell, and it's not very warm in there. But once I've got all the sound insulation in, sound deadening, that sort of thing, it's going to make it a lot more quieter. So everyone does it really differently, so I've tried to watch loads of videos and try and work out what would suit my needs. I'm not planning on going away for like loads of time, so it'll just be sort of like weekends away and things like that. So I don't need it majorly sound deadened. It's just if it starts raining or something like that, then I obviously don't want to hear it. So to start with, I've got this Dodo sound deadening, which seems what everyone uses. It's an English company, and it's basically you just put it on each panel, and then it will, when it dries, it pretty much hardens the panel. So when things like bump against it, like rain or a sound noise from when I'm driving, then it shouldn't make as much noise. So this is what I'm going to start off doing. So what I've got, obviously I've got a pack of 40, which I got from Amazon. It just covers like 2.7 meters, which should be enough, because consider I'm not even going to use that much of it. Then I've also got a paint roller, just so I can roll it on a bit easier, because apparently you need to like sort of push it down. My hands might get a bit tired. Then I've just got a craft knife as well, just a Stanley blade, just in case I need to cut it to like specific angles and things like that. So when you're applying the sound deadening, you want to apply it to big sort of outdoor spaces, like the walls, the roof, inside here, because this is just like the outside behind here, and then the wheel arches, which create a lot of road noise. So there's a lot of like mixed opinions on where it should go and like how much you should put down, but it costs a bomb, especially this Dodo mat stuff. So what I've read, I've got a Campbell conversion Bible, and what I've read in there is as long as it's filling up 30% of the panel, then it should create an audible difference. You might not be able to hear much of an audible difference, but so here's without it, and then that's with it. There is a little bit different. Right, so now I'm onto the roof. Obviously this is going to create quite a lot of noise, so I'm thinking of putting 3 across lengthways like this. 1, 2, 3, and that should create quite a difference. Alright, so that's the ceiling done. Still quite a lot of sound deadening left, probably about half of it. So go through the rest of the panels, and anything I've missed I'm just going to go over again. Right, so I'm going to do the wheel arches now. Might take about 6 sheets of it, but I've obviously still got quite a lot left. This is important because it creates a load of noise when you're driving. That's one of the main things it says to sound deaden. Alright, so that's the wheel arch done. It was just a lot of trial and error and sticking it on and then cutting a bit and then sticking it on and cutting a bit, so it was a bit boring to record. But it's more or less fine. There are some gaps in it, but the gaps don't really matter, because as long as it's got, like I said, 30% coverage, then it'll be fine. So that's way more than enough, and it's a massive difference compared to the other one. I've found that if it doesn't conform to the shape properly, then you can cut a little triangle out of the sound deadening, and then with the triangle you can literally just stick it back in, then it fits a lot better. Right, so as you might remember in the first video, I went through and filled all the holes, because obviously the first person that owned the van drill straight for the floor. However, with me, what I've done is I've gone out and bought some 15 mil batons to put down the dips of the floor, and then when it comes to putting the ply floor on, it means I can drill into these rather than drill into the floor, and it will make a solid, like a solid floor without creating any rust. The reason I'm doing this now is I've just ordered the ply lining kit, and I need to sound deaden the floor, but without knowing where these are going to go, then I don't want to sound deaden it, because otherwise I might have to tear it up. Right, so this is the configuration we've gone for. But what we're doing, literally just running a line for my favourite Seeker Flex, and then pushing it down into the gaps. Then tonight we'll put the old plywood on top of it, and then that should put a bit of pressure onto it so it dries nicely. Alright, so I'm back. It's the morning after all these are dried, and now it's all dried, I can get in between them. So it turns out the configuration I have with the batons, I don't even have to cut them in half, they fit in nicely between them, so that's good. Alright, so next up I'm going to therma barrier the wheel arches. So what is therma barrier? Therma barrier is sort of like a last line of protection, stopping like rust and things like that from condensation. All it creates is like a complete seal, because obviously you can see in the wheel arches there's bits of gaps, but what I'm using is sort of B&Q Bobby Basic Thermawrap. I think I've got like 7 meters of it, so I might have to go back and get some more, but I wanted to start with the wheel arches, so then when it comes to doing the floor, it creates like a nice seal over the top of that. Alright, so that's both the wheel arches done. I've gone round and aluminium taped all the gaps up. Now I think I'm going to move on to the floor. I've sort of measured it out with my eyes, more or less, and then I'll get the trim fix, spray it down and press it down as much as I can, and then any gaps at the bottom, like I've measured it pretty bad there, I'll just add a little bit more, I've got plenty left, and I'll do it in 2 halves. So I'll do this side first, as I go push it down, keep pushing it down all the way, and then I'll start sticking it down with the aluminium tape after I'm done. So mirror from this side, I can see where the battens are. So what I'm going to do is go around with a Stanley knife and cut all the battens out, and then to seal them, I'll put the aluminium tape around them, so it still creates a nice barrier. Right, so this is morning after now. I finished insulating everything, the floor, the wheel arches. I'm not sure if I showed you, I can't remember. And then I put the plywood down on top of it, so I can start working on the rest of the van. So today I've got planned, I'm going to be insulating the roof, and then thermal wrapping that as well. So what am I using? I'm using, I don't think it was B&Q, but a lot of people use B&Q recycled bottle plastic. This is good because certain insulation can absorb water and actually mould, but with the bottle plastic it doesn't absorb it, because obviously it's just plasticky, and it should just go straight through it. Alright, so I've heard mixed things on how much bottle plastic you could use, because if you use quite a lot, then it will be quite hot in your van. But the thing is, I thought about it, and I'd rather be too hot than be too cold. So I'm gonna smash quite a lot in, and then worst case scenario, I'll open a window when I'm sleeping or something like that. So any cavity that might trap cold air, you just want to fill with this stuff. Like doors, they're quite a big thing. So as well as all the cavities, like where the windows are and the doors and things like that, there's also loads of holes where you're going to lose lots of heat to, like around here. So I'm just poking them in just a little bit. Alright, so that's the whole 10-metre roll gone. Tried to get it down into as many cavities as I could around here. Then put a bit on the windows over here as well. And sliding doors. I'm going to start thermawrapping the ceiling because I know for a fact there'll be enough on here. So pretty much exactly the same as the floor, except this time it's got the insulation on it as well. Measure it up and then stick it down with aluminium tape and create as much of a seal as you can. Alright, so I went back to B&Q and got one more 6-metre roll just so I can fill the rest of it up. It's probably is better to have a little bit too much than not enough, especially in like the doors and things like that. I feel like I could fit a bit more in. Looks like this one's a bit thicker, but it was also a bit more expensive. That was the B&Q dye or recycled bottle plastic. Right, so I've pretty much insulated the whole van now. It's gonna be pretty stinking hot in there, I reckon, but yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna start thermawrapping the ceiling, as you can see here. I've literally just cut it to shape, and then used the same one to cut the next one to shape, and then the other two a different size. Right, so after a hot and sweaty afternoon, finally finished the roof. Right, so I'd run out of Thermawrap and I had a week off, so just got back to tool station, got another pack, and then lastly all I'm doing is going over where I've put the bottle plastic over the walls. First one was laying it on, getting it up to size, and then I'm spraying a bit of spray adhesive just so it sticks on. It looks a bit gash at the moment, but that's because I'm going to be putting the aluminium tape over it. Alright, so that's one side done. It took a little bit longer than expected because the wheel arch on this side is a bit of a funny shape. Right, so after a long couple of weeks, finally I've finished all the insulation. Like I said, I just went around, filled all the holes with tape, so when I carpet over it, you can't see the holes through it. And then, yeah, that's the insulation done. Ooh. Dog wanted to come and see, too shy. Ended up putting quite a lot in, but like I said at the beginning, I don't really care if I'm too hot. I'd rather just open the door than in the winter be absolutely freezing cold. So yeah, sorry if the video has been long and boring, but I wanted to show all of it and it took me quite a long time. So I might as well show that it's taken me a long time, if that makes sense. But yeah, thanks for watching and I really appreciate it.